Boom, boom. This is Ken Ripley. Welcome back to the channel. I got a Soland reloaded today. So let's go ahead and continue with our checking up of Ren here. We're going to get her maxed out. So we got a bunch of chests open up. We've got 999 now. So what I do, I just open these up. I just put them towards BB. I mean, you can put them towards anybody you want. I just put it towards BB because she's first. Okay, so basically we're just going to open these up. So I've got very close to 6,000, just a little bit shy of 6,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually put all these towards Ren. We're going to see if we can't get Ren into the main actual setup here. And then we'll go ahead and see how far we can get her. I'd like to take her all the way up. Now, you know, in my last video we talked about the Duke character, and that's a Sir Tanks. And good character, definitely something you might want to consider. Attacker. So we now have a couple of attackers, and Ren is our tank. So the only thing we're missing in an SS plus format right now is one healer. But like I say, it's good. We're probably not going to see that for a little bit. Really, they can't. You know, try to keep in with the way they keep going with things here in terms of strong characters. Wrong is really pretty much the only healer that they could actually focus on with an SS plus. So I expect that's what we'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with Ren. So as you saw where we stopped off on the previous, we had started to bring her up in terms of the equipment and what we had to use it in base. So we've got a bunch of stuff to consider with. So let's go ahead and continue with the upgrade. Okay. Okay. So we've got her up to 5. Okay, so we've got her up to 5 moon. Okay, so we've got her up to 1 sun. So we're into our suns here. 3 is what I was hoping to get out of it. I was, you know, because it starts getting up pretty high here, unfortunately, because she is an SS plus. So it takes a little bit of a while to actually get up. But we do have her up at 2. And there is 3. So that was what I want for my minimum taxi beat, but we can take her to 4. So they basically didn't change anything. So we came up just a bit short. So really close, but I'll have that in just a matter of days. I'll be able to max her out. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other stuff we got to do here. So we've got the rings. So we've got to one click up the rings. I break this through to maximum. So we got those up to 4. Okay. So let's do our enhancements. Enhance the set. Strengthen that up to maximum. Should be able to get that up roughly up to 17. Yeah, that's what I was going for there in terms of that. Okay. Breakthrough. This I'm going to have to open up a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of rings and stuff to open up, but that'll be a separate video. But I've been saving that, and I have, of course, been saving that for her as well. So, yeah, this was... so if you notice over the last 6 or 7 videos where there's been a lot of unused materials inside of my actual inventory, it's been for her because my intent was to take her to max as soon as possible and start utilizing her as my main tank. Tanks are very important in the game. I know you don't, they're not any flashy type of setup for a tank, but a tank is something that you need, and you need a good one, and he is a good tank. Azure Dragon is an excellent tank. But she's just Ren's just going to be a little bit better. That's what it basically amounts to. All right, so Awaken. So yeah, we can one-click Awaken that. Take that up to 2. Angelic Armor. Will gain 15 energy when she takes damage. That's good. So energy restriction is always important. Angelic Shield, so we learn that. Now let's take a look at these next two here. We've got Angelic Armor. She gains energy when she takes damage, and this increases hit by and attack by. Let's go ahead and take that one on terms here, just because it gives me a little bit of a damage too. It can be any way you want, but this game takes damage. Okay, so let's go ahead and max this out so we can get it up to 93. So we got the super HP Tout activated. And as you can see, this is taking up our BP, but it's a pretty good BP hike, no doubt about that. But we've still got quite a few things to do. So as you can see, we're already starting to move her in towards the top, and we haven't even done some of the biggest things yet, which is Awakening and whatnot. So we need to equip her with that. So going to be staying in the main, of course, still going to be staying in the main until Asura comes out. Then we'll probably be replacing Chen. So Neoten, he's going to be going out. So we'll probably just utilize that. But at this point, we've actually got, in terms of main team, we should probably just go ahead and put this on her and then move this past, because he's going to be second one. So let's go ahead and replace that. Okay. Now equip. I was really hoping to have this farther up at the time, but for now it's going to be what we want to do. So we're going to put that on her, bringing her up immediately. Soul Bones. I've got a set for her. It's one of those things that you have to take into account here. All right. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about with Soul Bones here. So this video might run a little bit long, but it's to make up for the fact that the last video was not as long as I wanted it to be. I had some things going on, so I didn't try to get to that. So let's max it up all of those. Okay. Physical skills, we'll go over those a little bit later. I like to get the physical skills all the way up to 6. I've saved some of the cultivation stones to take care of that, and we've still got to set up. So let's go ahead and focus on the Soul Bones. All right, when it comes right down to everything, Soul Bones, as I've said before, you've got the 3 sets. You've got the yellow set, orange set, and then you've got the red set, which is the best set in the game. So good that they don't even offer it in the shop. You have to actually purchase it via the chests. Okay, as you can see, I've been stocking up chests because I wanted to give her a set. So let's go ahead and make a set for her. So we've got 40. It takes 60. So just check. So I need a full 60 for that. Okay, so there's the head. Now I like to do this in an orderly fashion, which means I actually do the fuse. Okay, before I jump back to the consumables. All right, so we got the first one done. So we want to use this again. We want to make the arm. Still need a full 60. Arm. Confirm. Fuse it. Fuse it. Oh, too far. So let's go back to the consumables, and we'll do it again. And we use it, and we'll check out the leg. And the leg need a full 60 for that. I'm pretty sure I need a full 60 for everything. Okay, fuse that. Okay. And last but not least, full 60 for that. Okay, so we now have a full set utilized. Now, the reason I like to do full sets on this is because the fact that I understand what they're doing when they make it a separate set like that, but it's really, I really wish that they would make it a little bit more easy to obtain. I mean, it's not something that's easy to obtain as it is. just making it more difficult. So equip it because it gives you attack, gives you magic defense, and that's what makes it so good. Is because if you look at it from a predominant, it's pretty much all around everything. It gives you a little bit of everything, which the others don't from a standpoint. So I do have 2 SS, but I'm going to be putting a Sea God set on her in the near future. So it's not something that I need to. Right now I'm just going to put on 2 SS setups for her. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. Okay. Advance pretty far. Breakthrough. I can break them through pretty far as well too. This is going to be my main set to focus on. But right now I just want to do enhancement. Don't have quite enough soul energy, unfortunately. So I have to do this one at a time. Which takes a little bit longer, but that's what we'll do. As you can see, I'm using a lot of gold. You want to make sure that you want to have quite a bit of gold on stack. I mean, gold is not the predominant material that you need to use when you're doing a major max enhancement like we're doing right here, but you do need quite a bit of it. So try to have at least 300 million in your stocking so that when the time comes you'll be able to actually get things up pretty high. Because as you can see, I had about 500. I think it was about 540 or something like that. Gold, and as you can see, I don't have even remotely much of that now. It's the skills and whatnot. It just used a lot of gold because you're going from 0 all the way up to 89. That's a lot. And it uses quite a bit of gold to do it. So it looks like we're going to be able to get roughly to about so it looks like we're going to get to 15 because we can't go any higher because we don't have enough of the soul energy. But I bought a lot of those mats specifically for this, so that's good. 15. That's a good starting point. Advancement, breakthrough. This is problem with it is these. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set. We're going to try to get them to purple is what I want to try to get them all to. Purple 1. And I don't think we're going to have enough to do that on all of them. But we'll see how many we can get through. And then I'll go ahead and purchase a bunch of these. And we'll keep working through getting them up. We'll get them all, we'll get them as high up as we can go in terms of you want to try to get them up, you want to break them through as high as you can possibly get them. It takes a lot of, these while these aren't too difficult to get, you can get these in just about every single resource exchange event. These, not so. They're a lot more difficult to get. You can get them inside of the shops, in the Soulbone shops and whatnot. And there's other ways to get them as well, too, if you want to use some of your higher mats, which I'll probably end up doing. So I've got 323, so I can actually start advancing her up. I don't want to use the quick advancement because I prefer to keep it controlled. Because what sometimes happens with advancements is it gets a little bit out of control. Instead of advancing, like entire sets and whatnot, it loses. And instead of focusing on one thing, it might focus on something else. So I like to keep the control in terms of when I'm using materials that are not easy to obtain. I prefer to control it myself, and that's just because I'm that way. If it's one of the a common material, I don't really care. I'll just enhance. But this is not a common material. You have to really focus on getting this. and I want to do, keep the sets controlled. So I'll be able to get them up to 1R, 2R, 3Rs, of course. You just keep bugging it up. That's the way it goes. You should not be, if you've started the game like when I did back in its inception, you shouldn't be really focusing on S characters much anymore. You want to have them focused on from a secondary perspective, but your primary focus should be on your SS plus characters, as they are just a little bit more powerful in terms of what you get. So I would suggest focusing on the SS plus characters first. Once you max out an SS plus in terms of what you have, then you can start throwing stuff into your SS characters. But at the rate they're going, they're only introducing S plus characters, so there's no longer going to be any need whatsoever for you to focus on getting the actual SS plus up at the time. I brought Chin up simply because of the fact that I needed crowd control / attackers, so that's why I brought him up. So we can open up our, that's a really good design. So activate that. That's going to be above 2. So let's see how close. Yeah. So took us up another million. So up to 568. So I'd like to see how close we can get to 6,000 today. 600 million would be nice, but realistically 570 was what I thought we'd probably end up with. No more than 575. But now that we've got Ferk's character, so where's she at? She's still a little bit below Bo, but Bo's an attacker and she's an SS plus, so that's not surprising at all. What we want to get her is in front of Chin, and the rings are going to help us do that. But also we haven't awakened anything. Forgot I thought about that. I've still got to rig through these rings, but I'm going to have, like I said, I'm going to have to open up all the chests. Now, that's going to be a very long, involved video because you have to open them up. You have to do the math, how many you need, and you can only do. You want to do it in a singular control at a time to keep control of flow, so you don't waste them all. But I've got a lot. I'll be able to get them up to red 1 theoretically. But let's focus. Go ahead and focus on the next big thing we want to do, which is awakening. So let's go ahead and do a 1 awaken on her weapons. So she uses an axe. So let's go into the actual store, exchange points. And yes, as you can see, I don't have quite enough to get 2, but that's not a problem. I just wanted to get 1 at this point. Okay, because I don't have enough Sea God Silver to start doing 2 second level awakening on her yet. The Sea Silver has become it used to not be that much of a finite resource, but it's become an extremely finite resource as of recent. They just haven't been having much options for it. So let's go ahead and awaken this again. Make sure you got the gold. So formation damage increases by 25%, 35% in PvE. For 8 seconds, all injured targets will receive 8 positional damage, while Kryn reduced attack is increased by 20. For 8 seconds, all injured targets. So everybody's going to, on the enemy team's going to receive 8% additional damage, and she's going to get a 20% increase in her damage. She's actually going to be pretty tanky in terms of damage as well too. That doesn't make sense. She's going to dish out quite a bit of damage as well as being an excellent tank. So as you can see, a Deep Sea Silver is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with here in the future. Okay, so there's that. So you want to primarily focus on the awakening of the actual thing, but we're going to need 2 for that. Okay. So as you can see, I'm evening it out instead of focusing it on 1 person. Okay. So by the time I get enough to get 2 things, it's going to be well overweight. So it's, might as well just go ahead and do this for 1. I can only do it for 1. But on a happy note, if you'll take a look at see how the awakening, how much it buffs you up, it does. It's a very good thing. I have 332 of these to open up. 322. I'm sorry. So I'm going to be getting in quite a bit of Deep Sea Silver. That's 32 deep sea silver guaranteed right there. So I will have some deep sea silver. I'm also able to get one of the weapons, but if you can't get two of the weapons, there's no use purchasing one of the weapons at this point. Plus, I don't have the deep sea silver, so I'll just hold off on doing that. It will do that at a later date, but they'll have another event for tickets up, so it's not good. So let's take a look at her now. Okay, so so 51 and 47. So that's about what we thought, but it's all based on rings at this point. Okay, and she's going to be doing a little bit more damage in terms of that at this point as well too. But once I get those rings up, and then I got to get a set on her. I'm probably going to be pulling. I'm not going to focus on the extended bones that I have on her. I'm probably going to. I want to get a Sea God set on her. This is a Sea God set. I want to get a Sea God set on her because that's what I like. What I like to use in terms of my final set, and that's the one that I do like to image up. So we've got a few things that we've got to do. We've got to get her cultivation is still well below what we can actually do. I don't have the cultivation stones for that. This I can only bring, I can only do a basic set for this, but I will be probably be moving a set to her when I get a chance. I'll be putting, of course, will be focused on her. Pretty much everything's going to be focused on her, and that allows me to complete the set activation. So we increased HP limit by 3%. And block by 300 points, which is always good for a tank. Anytime you can increase block is going to be important. So yeah, we just got basically, so this is what you're going to do. So we're very close to actually overtaking him, and we will actually overtake him in a day or two because he's pretty much, for the most part, maxed out in terms of that. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I was hoping to be. So I'll be able to utilize her in a couple of days. I could probably utilize her right now, and it didn't do much of an effect. But I'll just go ahead and keep her as for the secondary team for the next few days until I do it. Right now, I'm going to start focusing on getting her up to 1. I think that once I get all of her up to +1, all of these, we'll be able to actually overtake. And as you can see, I'm very close to getting what needs to be done. I have been stockpiling these, knowing that this is the hardest part right here. This is where it gets difficult. Higher up in the end game is to obtain these. Okay. This is what stunts your growth on just about everything. Will be obtaining these because you'll get a sweep of these 10. It takes 9 sweeps to get 1. Okay, so on occasion you'll get 2. Okay, you'll get the first one and then 1 right towards the end. Okay, but every other time it's 1 and 1 and 1, and you're sweeping 10 times each time. So, and if you need 30 of them or 50 of them, that roughly translates to, if you need roughly 30, that's going to translate to roughly about 26 or 25 swipes before you're actually going to have the 30 that you need. Okay, so and it takes a really long time to do that, and you've got to do it for all your characters. It's not the but there you can get them through the actual elite stages, but you can only do 3 per stage each day due to the fact that that's how they limit it. So you can't spend a whole bunch getting. You're only going to be able to do 1 or 2 of these, 1 or 2 of those a day that are going to give you the level of the soul ring, because you need a red 1 soul ring. Okay, so soul ring is not specific to. There are different soul ring levels. It's not just 1 soul ring is used for its entire leveling up. It's a different level of soul ring, combined with the fact that it's limited at what you can get. So it takes a really long time once you get into the red to start acquiring these. So if you're a newer player or a mid-level player, I would certainly suggest that you right now start focusing on getting these because you will need them, and it's going to be what slows you down towards your in-game progression. It's not no, it's not going to make it non-existent. It's just going to take longer than it normally would, because you just when you're only getting one every 10 sweep, you could blast through all of your stamina, and you don't want to particularly do that because you need attack rings, you need the support rings, and you need the defense rings. So you need all of them, because there's 3 types of characters, and if you want to have a warrior on the team, you need all 3 types in your team: healer, tank, and damage. So it is what it is. So that's what's going to slow you down. But I've been stocking for this. I've been planning on needing these, so I started stocking them back several weeks ago, and I didn't put anything into my Azure Dragon. He was my current. I let him sort of stagnate. I didn't let him stagnate completely. As you can see, I do have him at 1, but I could instead of started taking him into the 2. I just said no. I'm just going to go ahead and focus, continue focusing. The ring needed for right now for him is the next level ring. It's a red 2 ring, but I didn't want to spend my resources getting red 2 rings, so I instead focused on getting on red 1 wings, even though I didn't have anybody to use them on, because I knew I was going to end up having to use them on Ren once she was ready to go. So I do have those. So let's go ahead and take a look at first. Okay, so we need 3 of these. So this is, like I say, this is where you can sweep 10, and this will generally stop. Most of the times it'll stop where it needs to. See, it stopped right where it needs to there. So we're going to proceed to the synthesis, and then we'll go over to this, and we'll go and we'll sweep 10 this. It's pretty good. It only does it occasionally, but I have seen it just blow right by instead of stopping to the proceed to the synthesis, and just completely, totally axe that out. So we've got this to do. Breakthrough. Gold. See. Okay. So now this takes a red 2 ring. So I wasn't, but this one here still takes the red 1 ring, and as you can see, I do have some for that. But we're gonna have to do a full 16 on this. But I've got quite a bit of stamina, and we'll be purchasing some more stamina using the things. And we're going to probably have to use just about all of it. As you can see, they don't give you a lot of these, but you only need 16, so it's not like it's got to break the bank or anything like that. Fortunately, we don't have any one of the sliders up, so we don't need to worry about that. So another sweep 10 here. So for those of you interested, on a daily basis, what I do is, I'll show you right now. This is what I do, okay? So I purchase stamina, including 1 set of 150. So I take it up to 150, then purchase 1 set, okay? Now, in terms of actual stamina, Oscar sausage, you should be stacking. You should be getting, if you're doing your daily set of 100, you're going to get Oscar sausages replenishment on a daily basis. Okay, so there we go. So that's taking care of that. So this one's next. So let's go ahead and pop on this one. So we want to go to this. So we want to sweep this 4 times, and now I'm going to sweep it 10. Now let me show you what I do with my sausages. Okay, so up to 150 on this, and then on sausages, I always do 4 sausages irregardless. Okay, that guarantees me to get the 100 that I want to in terms of sweeping. I wanted to take a look at this right here. So as you can see, we're you could use as many as you want, but in the end, I just choose 4 for a generic basis, and then I have to make a decision. Sometimes I'll end up going back and using another 4 sausages if I want to do something. Also, on days that we have double drops, double mat drops, I go hog wild. It's not uncommon for me to use 250, 300 shots of that, just gathering those rings. I mean, one day I spent probably Probably spent about 20 Oscar sausages in one day just sweeping rings. You got to use it on something. So you might as well use it on that. All right, so here we go. So we finished our second synthesis. We can now fuse this, and we now do this. Okay, so we've got one on everything but this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase as much stamina as I need to actually complete this. So I have to use some more of my stamina. I don't prefer to use, I try to keep as many of the sausages in stock as possible, but I've had used all the gold ones, got through them, and I'm going to be using a lot of these here too. So let's do another 4. So as you can see, 4 only give you 240, so that's not a whole lot of stamina. But unfortunately, you're also held back by the fact that some of the mats that you get to need, you don't actually open up the sweep stage. It's pretty much gated to the fact where you can't really progress too far ahead because you have to be at a certain level before before the capability to actually do some of these mats presents itself. One of the places is those rings, and that also slows down your progression too. You have to open up the stage before you can actually sweep it. But it's really none of it really holds you back in terms of you can't still do other things. So there's always stuff that you can do. Okay. So as you can see, we're going to need more. This probably might do it, but probably not. I'll probably still be coming up a little bit short. Probably have to use a little bit more. It'll be close. They do give you quite a bit of these in terms of that. So let's see here. I think I'm actually, yeah, we'll be getting it on this one. Okay, so now we're going to break through this. That gives us everything, so we can now do the final breakthrough into the next level. Okay, took her up to 49. So we're broken through. So now we're going to have to start focusing on rings. Yeah, going to need to start focusing on these rings. And see, I do not have the story, as I was saying before, to do it. So I will not be able to consistently focus on getting these rings. I'll be able to do these, which will allow me to get some, but it's not going to allow me to get, you can only do 3 of them, and you're only going to get 1 of them on 3 sweeps. So sweep the single until you get the 1, and then you can drop out. Okay, but so it's going to take me, it's story 38, 15, so I'm going to have story mode 38 opened up before I can actually get that. And if you look inside of your story mode, you will see that story 38 does not open until you reach level 90. So as you see, it's going to be another week or so before I actually can start focusing on farming for those particular mats. So that's what I mean when I was telling you about them sort of, it's sort of gated. You can't get too far ahead in terms of that because it's based on level. And I do like that. I think that's the way it is. But you should be doing 100. Here's why. You get the Heaven Day. So you want to get all of these. And you get these shards each day. And this is S shards. And this one right here is, of course, a nice SS shard pack. Okay. Also, another thing that it helps you out in is you actually get to open up your legendary beast. I'll go ahead and knock him out here. And this gives you a ton of chests. See, I've got 260. Of course, only 14 keys, so I can't really do that in terms of that. Get some good rewards there. necklaces. Yeah. So yeah. So as you can see, I'll probably be able to overtake him today. I'll be doing some rings this evening. It's 49 and 51. Once I get these rings up and get the Sea God set leveled up, I'm going to put. I'll probably pull the Sea God set off of. I'll probably pull the Sea God set off of Bo actually and put that on her for the time being, just to get her up and get her ready. Because you know, she's secondary focus. After Ren's almost done, Ren will be done in a week, and then I'm going to start focusing on Bo, and then hopefully Bo will be finished by the time we start focusing on our next beast, which is Azura Tang Chen, which is just an awesome design. So who is Azura Tang Chen? Well, if you watch the anime, you would know who Azura Tang Chen is. So here's our coming. So hopefully this will be a healer. Dispel and become immune to most exposed for 3 seconds. Teleport. Okay, I got a teleport. That's nice. Rupture them and inflict bleeding. So Tang was in the Asura domain when Tang said went to the Asura to get. Basically, it's the hell. Okay, it's this. Okay. So this is where is the head of the actual slaughter arena. I will not tell you who he is. His identity is a secret identity. He's actually somebody else, but I'm not going to tell you who he is. You have to watch the anime. Okay, a little air of mystery. But yeah, this is where he's the head of the slaughter arena, and he is super powerful. So he deserves well deserved SS plus nomenclature for him. All right, so we got 100 cents, so I can now claim that. 70, 80, and 90. So we now have the 90, and I got a bunch more shards, which we can now go to the bag. Now we can now go to the grocery. And we can now go to this, and we can use these, put them on BB, max them out. How close are we going to be? How close are we going to be? Does anybody know? I can't remember. I forgot. No, still short. 78 shards short. Oh, it's horrible. So yeah, yeah, it'll be probably within the next 2 days. I'll have her actually. So it's not that big a deal. Code Essence is up because it is Thursday. But yeah, so okay, so let's go ahead and end this up. I'm sorry it ran a little bit long, about 40 minutes. That's one of the reasons I wanted to bop it into 2 videos, is because I didn't want everybody to take up all of their time. I didn't want to do a video that was over an hour. I try to keep the videos at around 30 minutes, and I don't like to stray over that too far because I know you guys have other stuff to do, and you can't always sit down for a full 30 you can't sit down for a full hour just watching a video. So I try to break it up into things. So it's going to be 2 videos, and I introduce them both at the same time. This is the same day that I did the first video, just at a different time of the day. Okay, so yeah. So again, thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, to see the bell, click on it. You get notified each time I drop a video. Also remember to like and share the video, as it helps the channel immensely. Ken Rear coming at you from the corner, signing out.